Welcome to Right on Track, a songwriting podcast. Thanks to Tone for tuning in. I'm Demi Michelle Schwartz, and I'm thrilled you're joining me on my songwriting journey. So kick back and relax, don't fall flat, and remember, stay right on track. Hello, welcome back to Right on Track. I am thrilled because joining me today from across the pond is Olivia Lynn. Hey, Olivia.
Hiya.
How are you?
I'm so good, thank you. How are you?
I am fantastic. How has your year been? We're coming down to the end of 2022, which is insane, but how has this year been for you?
Pretty crazy to be honest. Very busy, but a good type of busy, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. I'm so excited to have you today because we're going to be chatting all about being a young woman in the music industry and so much more. But before we dive into that, can you share with the listeners a little about yourself and how you got started in music?
So I've been singing pretty much my whole life. Well, that's what I can remember anyway. But definitely from about 4 years old is when I almost started to take it pretty seriously. That sounds quite silly because obviously I was only four, but it's at that age that I was like, I want this to be my career. I want this to be the thing that I do for the rest of my life. Um, my mum used to sing all the time, and my family is a very music based family. They love listening to music, they love singing. It's very enjoyable for us. And my nana also sings as well, and introduced me to a lot of new artists and genres and music across the years as well. So being brought up around music all the time, it's just something that it's kind of inside me. It's something I've always wanted to do. Not until I joined my management last year, who are KA Media, who are absolutely brilliant. They are amazing and have got me where I am now, and managed to release my first song in September 2021 on my birthday, which was called Modern Girl. Actually sing all genres, so I kind of sing everything, but it's not until recently, well, I say recently, about a year or so, year or two ago, when my nana introduced country to me. She always used to put Dolly Parton on in the car and kind of, Patsy Cline and things like that. And I always used to enjoy listening to it. And it wasn't until, later on in life, I kind of picked it up and said, this is the genre I want to sing. This is what I want to do. So, yeah, that's kind of my little story about how I kind of got where I am now. And over the months, I've released more and more music. But yeah.
That is fantastic. What an amazing story. I love how you come from such a musical family and you knew from a very young age that this is what you wanted to do. I think that's super special and you definitely chased that dream. So, congratulations.
Thank you.
Of course. So, we have a fantastic quote by the incredible Taylor Swift. So, can you read that?
Of course. My hope for the future, not just in the music industry, but in every young girl I meet, is that all they realize that they're worth and ask for it.
This quote is incredible. What does this mean to you?
Oh, I can't even explain how much this means to me. I've always posted and, spoke about how tough, not even just the music industry, how it is for women in general. And you know what, actually, it's funny that you kind of, we're speaking about Taylor Swift and her quotes. One of her songs, I think it's The Man. I am obsessed with it, to the point when I put this on, I literally feel like I'm in some sort of Taylor Swift music video. And she's just, everything she's saying is correct. Everything, you know, how as soon as a man does something in the music industry, he's called like a baller. He's like so cool for doing it. But as soon as a woman does something quite funky, like Lady Gaga has spoken about before, Lady Gaga has said, she sat there in an interview, if I was holding my pants and, smoking a cigarette, if I was a man, you'd be calling me cool, you'd be calling me, rocky. But because I'm a woman, you find it weird, you find it strange. And it's just straight up, sexism. Um, and yeah, I think this quote does mean a lot because obviously I'm not as young as, there are some really young females out there who want to go into the music industry who are going to find it difficult and maybe won't have the confidence or the strength as I do or other artists do. So I think it is really important to educate and, try and break the stigma around female musicians.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I like how you said there at the end that you kind of need the strength and the confidence to face all the things that we face on our, day-to-day lives, but also in the industry. Because it's hard enough to follow a path as a musician, and then adding on all the added things with the way we should look and what we should say and what we should do and what we shouldn't say and what we shouldn't do. I think there's so much that society has laid out for what is expected, and especially in the music industry, Taylor is a perfect example because she has definitely stood up for herself. She stood up for other women. She didn't settle or bow down to anything. And there are people who don't like her for that. But I think it's incredible that she's somebody who does speak so openly about this because it definitely is a challenge. And the part of this quote that really jumps out at me is the ending where it's like, what you're worth. I think that some of us, sometimes, in order to avoid stirring the pot or causing problems in any way, sometimes we just settle for less than we deserve or accept things for how they are. And a lot of times that can't be what we're actually worth and what we deserve. And I think Taylor speaking out about this is really important because nobody should settle for less than their worth.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
Since you started in the industry, have you had any, aside from the song that we're going to chat about, but have you had any experiences where you felt like you're being seen as lesser or inferior because of being a woman?
I have actually, as a matter of fact. And when I don't know about you, but when you're in a situation at the time, you don't think anything of it, and then you look back and you're like, do you know what, that was wrong.
Yeah.
That's not okay.
Yeah.
Um, I obviously I'm not gonna name drop anything. I'm not gonna, because I'm just not that type of person. But I have had a few really disgusting messages actually about being a female artist. Few very, I don't know what word you would use, maybe misogynistic, maybe some very gruesome, and you know kind of putting you down messages I've had from a lot older men than I am, and a lot older. I've also had some young men, kind of criticizing my work. There's a young man who is a singer who I kind of knew, and he kind of made me feel inferior almost. And he actually, funny enough, he actually unfollowed me on everything and completely kind of cut me off. I was more than happy to do a bit of work with him. And he was the type of person who would make it kind of all about him. And he was like, well, I did this and I did that. And I also did this with this group and I did this with that group. And now I'm with this management. What are you doing? And when I try and explain my side, and I'm like, well, I'm doing this. And I'm just kind of, going with the flow doing this. It was always, his work was so much better than mine. So I've had my fair share of experiences. Trust me, not as half as bad as some of the women out there are, experiencing, like Lady Gaga and Taylor Swift, and so many other beautiful and amazing female artists out there who are going through so much and, feeling very criticized because they are a female artist. Um, I can't say I've had it that extreme and to that extent, but I have had my fair share already at the age of 17. So
Yeah, no, that's crazy. I mean, yeah, like you said, you're only 17 and you're already experiencing this. But I mean, I think it's something that you were kind of expecting, which is really sad. I mean, we kind of have to expect these things, expect the comments, and expect those moments where maybe there is a situation where I definitely have had situations where instead of commenting on my song, maybe they're commenting on like what I'm wearing in like a cover
oh
shoot. And it's like, what does it
yes,
matter what I'm wearing? Listen to my voice.
100%. I cannot tell you how many times this has happened. Even live gigs, I'll be singing, and it's not, oh my God, like your voice is really good. It was like, oh, I really love what you're wearing. Or like, just little comments. And you see, the thing is, they don't even think what they're saying is bad. That's the worrying thing. They think it's normal. So, but I completely agree with what you're saying. 100%.
For sure, yeah. So there's another side of this I want to chat with you about, which I think is really important. I think that since female artists face all of this on our own individual journeys, I think it's important for us to not see each other as competition and to really stand together and support each other because we all need each other. But I don't know about you, but I've definitely been in situations where other female artists have not been nice to me, talked down on me, thought they were better than me, and things like that. And it's just really sad in those situations because we get that enough from other people. So it's really disheartening to get that from somebody who's in the same boat.
No, I really do agree with that as well. And I think it's crazy how many other people out there are going to relate to everything that we are saying. The amount of times I've, kind of either been approached at gigs and stuff, and kind of, you see, the thing is, the worst way they do it as well is it's not blatant, it's not obvious. They do it in a little sly way, sly comments, and um little things here and there. There's a few female artists who are I will continue to support and watch them grow, and think they are so amazing in their own way, um even though I've literally been spoken about by them, and I've been, make nasty comments have been made and things like that. So, but I yet again I agree with what you're saying, and I have, like, it's quite sad that at 17 I relate to what you're saying as well, and as I'm sure so many other young female artists do, and not even just artists, as a musician, singers, like I said, musicians, painters, any creative, anything like that. I think we need to, uplift each other as women and support each other rather than putting each other down.
Absolutely, 100%. And the thing that most bothers me, I think, is that the way they portray themselves online can be completely different than how they are when you have a one-on-one conversation. And there have been so many artists, independent artists just like me, who like I'd follow them and genuinely like their music. Then I would just send them a nice message like, "Hey, I really like your music. Like, I would like to get to know you more. Maybe we can meet up or like co-write or like see you at a show or whatever." And they either like don't respond or say something back that's snippy in a way where they feel like they're superior in some way. And it's just really sad to see like, oh, they appear to be so nice online, and then when you actually get to know them a little bit, it's the opposite.
I agree with that. With the whole DMing thing,
Yeah.
there's been like plenty of artists who are not necessarily like really, really big, but who are maybe like small artists like me, we're just trying to support each other. It's really hard, the music industry, as a woman, like we spoke about. So, like, if I receive a DM, I'm always so kind and courteous. You have to be like, I always think what's going on in the back of my mind is you never know someone's situation. Just be kind at all times. There's no need to be nasty. And if I received a DM, or if I've sent a DM to someone to say, like, look, we're both quite small artists, would we be able to, collab or something like that, which I have before, and it's either yeah, yeah, like they'll reply like, yeah, yeah, I will, like, da 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 da, and they kind of brush it off, and you just kind of feel like, oh, okay, well, I've just completely been pushed to the sidelines, and they clearly don't want to. Or it's well, I don't really know about that because I don't do collabs with people who are small artists. But then you look on their page and they're a small artist too, and like you said,
Yeah.
they try and make you feel inferior.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, it's not fun out there sometimes, but it is very nice when you have those special female artist friends who get you and that you get them. So, can you share a little bit about having the support system around you?
100%. So, my main support system is my family. 100%. They are so supportive of everything that I do, and everything that I'm kind of doing in my life. And my fan base, who support me on my socials, are absolutely brilliant. And it's a mix of men and women. Um, and yeah, it's not just females that are supporting me as well, which I think is really lovely because, like you said, it is so tough in the music industry. It is nice. It actually is quite relieving when you get a message from a male and it's not them putting you down. It's them actually saying, "Do you know what? I actually listen to your music and I really like it." And funny enough, that makes me like for some reason, which is so strange, and it shouldn't be this way, but some reason makes me smile like that tiny bit more than if I got the same DM from a woman, because of how much I've just been put down by men my whole entire life. However, my support system is brilliant. On all my socials, everyone is so supportive, sending me messages, sharing my stuff, comment on my stuff, and like we said, not commenting just about what I'm wearing, not commenting about what I look like, but commenting on about what the video is, which is about me singing, downloading my music, or even not downloading it. You don't have to buy my music. Listen to it on YouTube for free, whatever, as long as I'm getting my music out there. And yeah, my support system is so, so good.
That's incredible to hear. I feel like mine is as well. And I think that in the midst of all the negativity that can go on, I think at the end of the day, we need to focus on the people who do support us. Because one of my favorite quotes is, those who mind don't matter and those who matter don't mind. And that definitely comes down to this as well. When you have those people who believe in you, genuinely care what you're doing, support you for the right reasons, that can definitely shine through and help out so much. So, I definitely want to give you an opportunity to chat about your single, Ain't It a Shame? So, what is the inspiration behind this?
So Ain't It a Shame is actually based on, this is going to be so funny. It's actually based on my boyfriend who I am currently with. Now that obviously sounds so bad on his behalf, but trust me, it is not. Me and my boyfriend, when we're at a stage where it was quite rocky for both of us, we're both going through quite a hard time, and you know, he is very, as a man, it's very hard for him to speak about his feelings, because he feels like he can't. So when he does, he kind of speaks to me. He's like, I really, the reason why I get so angry is because I'm, kind of jealous, or I'm a bit insecure, stuff like this. And he used to, back in about a year ago, which is when we first, got together, used to tell me what I couldn't wear. So he was very, you can't wear that. No, don't wear that. And then why would you wear that? That makes you look like this. And he wasn't very well educated, let's say, for this kind of, as a man, he wasn't very educated. And if you wear this, and this is going to happen. Da, 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 da. And I was trying to sit there and say, it shouldn't matter what I wear. It's my body, my choice. I always go by, shake what your mama gave ya. I was given this body for a reason. I want to show it off. I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of how far I've come. So, um, he used to be a little bit controlling. And yeah, he's owned up to that now, and we're so past that now. But as a singer songwriter, I decided to write a song about it. So I wrote this song, Ain't It a Shame, and obviously in the lyrics it's like, I'll shake my ass for the whole wide world to see, because that's something I used to say, like, well, if I want to shake my bum, I'll shake my bum. If I want to do this, I'll do that. And in the chorus and the verses, sorry, it's like, I know it's hard seeing me like this, walking around like I just don't give a, because it was quite painful for him to kind of see a woman, going out and speaking up and doing what they want for once, instead of, maybe what he was used to. But he loves the song. He puts it on in his car and he listens to it all the time. And he always says to me, he's like, I'm so happy that I could be your music inspiration. I'm like, honestly, I couldn't have done it without you. I needed something to write a song about, and you gave it to me, so thanks. But yes, that's what Ain't It a Shame is about. And he is just so, so supportive now. And honestly, I love this man with my whole heart. So do not get it wrong, guys. He is absolutely brilliant, very well educated now. Trust me, I educated him. And everything is all good. But he gave me a brilliant song, so
That's great. Well, I think it's so important that you wrote this song, not only because it's from your own personal experience, but also because, like he said, like you said, he wasn't very familiar with the fact, like, you were speaking up and doing what you wanted despite what he thought. And I think that this song is a great message to put out there to inspire other women who are in situations that may be a little controlling, or they feel like they need to do something just to please somebody else or what somebody else thinks. I think it's so important to put that message out there to inspire others that, hey, you know what? I don't need to bow down. I don't need to follow your rules. This is my life. This is my body, whatever. And I can do whatever I want with that. So, huge shout out to you.
no, thank you so much. 100%. Thank you.
What do you think your favorite lyric from this song is?
Oh, probably in the bridge, where it's the second bit of the bridge where it's, does your mama know her son's masculinity has cracked? And more importantly, does your father know that you speak to women like that? I
Oh,
don't know.
so good.
Yeah, I just think that's really like, proper grinding down on him. Like, not necessarily that bit necessarily wasn't about him. So the whole song isn't about him. The whole song is kind of about just men in general. Comments I've had over my whole entire life, even before I met my boyfriend, even from men who are supposed to be supporting me. I've had comments, you know. So I think the song is that specific bit is kind of aimed at to all the boys out there who claim, you know, I love my mum, I love women, I love my mum, but then are so disrespectful to other women apart, you know, that lyric's out there for them. And if your dad knew you were speaking to women like that, I do not think he'd be proud.
Such a good line. Fantastic. I love it.
Thank you.
So it's definitely clear that I think in your songwriting, you try to be very open, speak about personal experiences, and also things that matter. So, as a songwriter, why is that so important to you to be so open and honest in your music?
I've always said my whole entire life, my songs have meaning. And one thing I love in my songwriting is people can interpret it any way they want. I Love It, which is a song I wrote last year, is about being cheated on and, you know, being left for someone else. However, some people took the song differently and, you know, kind of viewed it as a friendship instead of a relationship. And I think music is a really big support system. I mean, music helped my mental health massively. And there was a Demi Lovato song, which was actually about her overcoming her drug um, you know, when she went through that really bad phase, bless her, and was really struggling. And I relate to that song, but not because it's about drugs, but because the lyrics mean something different to me. And I really want people to be able to do that with my music. I like to speak about personal experiences because I like people to know they're not the only one going through it. Because I definitely thought I definitely like, there's been some times where I think, Jesus, am I the only one going through this? Like, there's got to be someone else out there who is literally feeling the same way that I feel. And there is, you know, there's so many people on this planet. Just think about it. There's so many other people going through what you're going through right now as well. So I definitely want people to be able to, number one, relate to my songs. Number two, know they're not alone. And number three, be able to scream and sing about it. You know, I just love the fact that even though Ain't It a Shame is quite not sad, but quite an angry topic, you know, women aren't allowed to wear this because they're seen as this, and women aren't allowed to do that because they're seen as that. I love the fact that I can sit there and scream that song and it just sounds amazing. Um, so I think that just plays a massive part of my songwriting. I love it. I write literally about all my personal experiences. So it does mean a lot to me. And I think the reason why I do that as well is almost in a way so I can remember these experiences. I don't really want to look back in a journal and see how sad and like kind of depressed or how angry I was in this journal. I'd rather hear it through my music, to be honest.
I love that. I completely relate. I feel like you're my younger twin.
Honestly.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with about remembering experiences because I don't journal either. But my debut album was literally called Dear Diary because each song felt like a diary entry. But I completely agree with being so open and vulnerable and honest because I think the root of everything with music is the emotion. And if you try to write about something that you haven't personally experienced or something you don't know much about, there's not going to be a personal emotional attachment to that. No matter how scary it can be to open up, we are putting our emotion into the song. And like you said, people take their own interpretations. And I think that's what's so beautiful because we all have different lives. We may have similar experiences, but at the end of the day, we all feel the same way. We all have the same human emotions. And when a song stems from an emotional experience, no matter if the person listening to the song has the exact same experience, they can relate to that emotion and they can take what they need based on what they are personally experiencing at that moment. And I think that's absolutely beautiful.
No, thank you so much. I'm so glad that you're able to relate as well. It's so much easier to speak to someone when they relate to what you're saying.
Absolutely. I feel like songwriters, we have a very unique mindset, and I think it's really cool.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So, Olivia, it was absolutely lovely having you. But before we go, what is some advice you would like to share to any female artists listening who may be struggling in the industry?
Okay, first of all, never, ever, ever let a man tell you what you can and cannot do. And I am saying that from personal experience. And I'm sure you've all been there. when a man has tried to tell you what you can and can't wear or what you can and can't do. Never ever let them do that. You need to stand your ground, be confident, and be yourself. Because trust me now, the only reason why they're putting you down is because they are scared of your confidence. It is insecurities. You're all beautiful. You are all amazing in your own way. And you should all be so proud of yourselves and use that power to go and do something with your life. That's the advice I would give.
Perfect, Olivia. Thank you so much. Please share with the listeners where they can find you on social and listen to your music.
So all my socials are called Olivia Lynn Official across all platforms. So that's Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and my TikTok. And then to listen to my music on Spotify, on Apple Music, and on YouTube, it is Olivia Lynn under all platforms. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining me, Olivia. Listeners, I hope you enjoyed this very empowering and inspiring conversation with Olivia Lynn. And of course, until next time, stay right on track.